Only a handful of humans were left alive, and you are one of their descendants. 75,000 years ago, our ancestors lived in small groups across Africa. They made fire, they used tools, they cared for each other. They did not know that deep beneath a lake in Sumatra, something unimaginable was waking up. Then it happened. The Toba supervolcano erupted. It was not just a large eruption, it was the largest volcanic event in the last 2 million years. The explosion sent ash across the entire sky of planet Earth. The ash covered the sky, the sun disappeared, temperatures dropped by 10 to 15 degrees across the planet, plants died, animals starved. This was not a bad winter, this was a volcanic winter that lasted for years. The population collapsed. Scientists believe that as few as 10,000 people, perhaps even fewer, survived. From hundreds of thousands of human beings, only a small group remained. The world had become nearly empty of us. The survivors had no stored food, no shelters built for cold. They huddled in caves and valleys, eating whatever they could find. The cold had killed the food supply. Every single day was a question of whether to continue. Scientists call this a population bottleneck. The entire human species was squeezed through a tiny passage. Only a small group carried our genetics forward. Everything you are today came through that narrow moment of survival in deep history. Evidence suggests some survivors moved toward coastlines. The seas still gave shellfish and fish, even when the land was dead. Adaptability, the ability to change what you eat, where you live, how you survive, was the difference. The survivors did not stay and wait to die. They moved. Small bands, families, maybe 10 or 20 people, walked across landscapes of ash and silence. They carried children and fire and the knowledge of how to make more fire. They carried something more important than food. They carried knowledge. How to make fire, which plants were safe, how to shape stone into a tool. Elders taught children, and children remembered. This is how knowledge survived the end of the world. Years passed. Then, slowly, the ash settled. The sun returned. Temperatures began to rise again. The survivors, who had held on through the impossible, stepped out of their shelters into a world that was beginning to breathe again. The survivors began again. They were few, but they were enough. They built shelters, they found food, they had children. The population grew slowly, carefully, over thousands of years. Life was patient, even when people were not. Today, geneticists can see the evidence of Toba inside our DNA. The bottleneck left a mark. All modern humans share unusually similar genetics, far more similar than most species. We are all, remarkably, very close relatives of each other. Because of Toba, every human alive today, regardless of country, language, or belief, is descended from those same few thousand people. We are, all of us, one extended family who came back together from the very edge of extinction. 75,000 years later, that same fire is still burning. It burns when a parent stays up all night with a sick child, when a stranger helps someone who has fallen. The fire that survived the end of the world, it is inside you right now. What this natural disaster teaches us. The Toba catastrophe teaches us that the species most capable of surviving was not the strongest or the fastest, it was the one that stayed together, shared knowledge, and kept moving when the world went dark. We are all children of that choice. And because so few of us survived, because the bottleneck was so narrow, we are far more alike than we usually believe. Every human fear, Every human hope, every fire lit against the darkness comes from the same ancient source.